Hello, and welcome to Raleigh Housing Authority Housing Choice Voucher Section 8 Department. Raleigh Housing Authority Hours of Operation. The Housing Choice Voucher Section 8 Department is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Documents are available for pickup and drop-off. Please place returned information in the drop box located outside of the leased housing entrance. Appointments are scheduled as needed by completing the contact form. Staff will contact you with date and time. Intake Specialist contact information. Raleigh Housing Authority, 900 Haynes Street, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27604. Phone number 919-508-1105. Email address housinginfo@rhaonline.com. Congratulations! This is an exciting time. You have been invited to this meeting today because your name has reached the top of our waiting list and you are in the preparation stage to receive your Housing Choice Voucher. The information shared during this briefing is very important, so I encourage you to take notes. The Section 8 program is federally funded by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known or addressed as HUD. The Housing Choice Voucher Section 8 program is an income-based program. In accepting this offer, you will be responsible for reporting any changes that occur in your household in writing within 30 days, which we will discuss later. Written verification of income for all household members such as, but not limited to the following: AFDC, Social Security, SSI award letter, 12 months payment history of child support printout, retirement, pension, unemployment benefits, 4 pay stubs in payday order. Written verification of all assets for all household members such as, but not limited to the following: last 3 months current savings and checking account statements, credit union, stocks, bonds, certificates, etc. Written verification of interest for all household members that was received or was credited to account for the past 12 months. With the Housing Choice Voucher, you are able to search for your own housing. In searching, you can choose a single-family home, townhomes, or an apartment. Should you wish to remain in your current unit and the landlord will accept your Housing Choice Voucher, you are able to use your voucher for your current unit. With choosing any housing type mentioned above, the unit must meet the requirement of the program, with the family being able to afford the rent, pass inspection, and the rent reasonable test. Security deposits are the responsibility of the family and should be paid directly to the landlord. The Housing Authority does not assist with security deposits. Wake County jurisdiction. Cities within Wake County area. Places where you can search for housing are as follows: Apex, Cary, Fuquay-Varina, Garner, Holly Springs, Knightdale, Morrisville, Raleigh, Roseville, Wake Forest, Wendell, Willow Springs, Zebulon, and New Hill. Some of these cities are bordered and can go into other counties which are not part of Wake County jurisdiction. Income limits 2022. We are providing the income limits for 2022. With your name being on our waiting list, things may have changed. The income limits listed is based on your gross income for the family. We do want you to be aware that this is an income-based program, and we will have to determine eligibility based on your current income for your household. The following information can be found on the Housing Authority website at www.rhaonline.com. online.com. I will be briefly discussing the following during the session: lead-based paint, bedbug policy, fair market rent, fair housing, reasonable accommodation, Violence Against Women's Act, housing discrimination complaint form, porting information, EIV, enterprise income verification, and a good place to live. Should you select a unit built before 1978, it could require a lead-based paint assessment if the following is identified during the inspection: peeling, chipping, or caulking paint. This primarily affects the following household members: a child under the age of 6, a pregnant female, or elderly family members. Fair housing. It is the policy of the Raleigh Housing Authority to comply fully with all federal, state, and local non-discrimination laws, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development regulations governing fair housing and equal opportunity. No person shall, on the grounds of race, color, sex, religion, national or ethnic origin, familial status, disability, marital status, gender identity, or sexual orientation, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be otherwise subjected to discrimination under the Raleigh Housing Authority Housing Choice Voucher programs. Violence Against Women's Act, VAWA. VAWA provides protection for Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher and project-based voucher applicants, tenants, and participants from being denied assistance on the basis or as a direct result of being a victim of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking. VAWA could also be geared towards males as well. Located on our website, we provide agencies and places to contact should you or someone you know experience domestic violence. Enterprise Income Verification, EIV. What is EIV? The Enterprise Income Verification is a web-based computer system that contains employment and income information of individuals who participate in HUD rental assistance programs. After you have successfully been placed on the program, our office will pull the EIV report within 120 days, 4 months, to verify the income in which you have coming into the household. Upon pulling the report, should it show income which was not reported to our office, this could result in income discrepancy. It is very important to report any changes in your household income. Income increases or decreases by using the change of status form and attach supporting documentation within 30 days of the change. Income discrepancy. With pulling the EIV, our office will calculate the income which was not reported to determine what amount the household should have been paying and if any monies may be owed back to the Housing Authority. A good place to live. The Section 8 Housing Voucher Program allows you to choose a home or apartment that you like. It may be where you are living now or somewhere else. The must-have standards are very basic items that every apartment must have. But a home that has all of the must-have standards may still not have everything you need or would like. With the help of the Housing Voucher Program, you should be able to afford a good home. So you should think about what you would like your home to have. You may want a big kitchen or a lot of windows or a first floor apartment. Worn wallpaper or paint may bother you. Think of these things as you are looking for a home. Please take the time to read A Good Place to Live. If you would like to stay in your present home, use this booklet to see if your home meets the housing quality standards. If you want to move, use it each time you go to look for a new house or apartment, and good luck in finding your good place to live. Reasonable accommodation. To be eligible to request a reasonable accommodation, the requester must first certify, if apparent, or verify, if not apparent, that they are a person with a disability under the ADA, Americans with Disability Act definition, that indicates a disabled person is a person that has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more of the major life activities of an individual, has a record of such impairment, or is regarded as having such an impairment. Reasonable accommodation. A reasonable accommodation is a change, exception, or adjustment to a rule, policy, practice, or service that is necessary for a person with a disability to have equal access to housing authority programs and service. There are forms in which would need to be completed and submitted to our office regarding the request for a reasonable accommodation. Subsidy standards. The housing authority does not determine who shares a bedroom, sleeping room, but there must be at least one person per bedroom on the voucher. The unit size on the voucher remains the same as long as the family composition remains the same, regardless of the actual unit size rented. The housing authority may grant exceptions from the standards if the family requests, and the housing authority determines the exceptions are justified by the relationship, age, sex, health, or disability of the family members, or other circumstances. Requests based on health-related reasons must be verified by a doctor, medical professional, or social service professional. HUD requirements are as follows. Effective January 1st, 2023. In the chart shown below, the contract rent is the amount of rent in which the family should be searching for rent when they're looking for a unit. The voucher size in the chart shows the minimum number of people in the household and the maximum number of people in the household. Fair market rent for 2023. The contract rent requested by the owner equals the fair market rent minus an estimated utility allowance that the housing authority is required to give to each family. This utility allowance is included in the rent calculation. For example, please view the bedroom size for a 2-bedroom. The line has been highlighted for us. The fair market rent is $1,624, and the contract rent, which is the amount in which the family should be searching, is $1,383 or less. When the family locates the property, our office will take the amount of rent in which the landlord is asking for the unit and add the utilities. The total is what we will be checking with the family's income to determine if they are able to afford the rent. In doing the calculation, we will start by using 30% of the monthly adjusted income in processing the affordability. If the family is unable to afford with our office using 30%, the maximum amount allowed is 40%. If you go over by $1 of the 40% range, you will be unable to afford the rent for the unit. At that time, our office will contact the landlord to see if he or she is willing to accept the lower amount. If he or she agrees, then we will recalculate using the lower amount of rent to be able to provide what portion the family will be responsible for paying and what portion Raleigh Housing Authority will be assisting. Due to this being an income-based program, if you are a zero-income household, then you will need to search for $1,383 or less for rent in order to qualify for a unit. Family responsibilities. When the unit is approved and the housing assistance payment, HAP, contract is executed, the family must follow the rules in order to continue participating in the Housing Choice Voucher program. The family must supply any information that the PHA determines to be necessary, including evidence of citizenship or eligible immigration status, and the information for use in a regularly scheduled reexamination or interim reexamination of family income and composition. Disclose and verify Social Security numbers and sign and submit consent forms for obtaining information. Supply any information requested by the PHA to verify that the family is living in the unit or information related to family absence from the unit. Promptly notify the PHA in writing when the family is away from the unit for an extended period of time in accordance with the PHA policies. Allow the PHA to inspect the unit at reasonable times and after reasonable notice. Notify the PHA and the owner in writing before moving out of the unit or terminating the lease. Use the assisted unit for residency by the family. The unit must be the family's only residency. Promptly notify the PHA in writing of the birth, adoption, or court-awarded custody of a child. Family responsibilities continue. Request PHA written approval to add any other family member as an occupant of the unit. Promptly notify the PHA in writing if any family member no longer lives in the unit. Give the PHA a copy of any owner eviction notice. Pay utility bills and provide and maintain any appliances that the owner is not required to provide under the lease. Family responsibilities. Final item. Any information the family supplies must be true and complete. 6. The family, including each family member, must not own or have any interest in the unit other than in a cooperative or the owner of a manufactured home, leasing a manufactured home space, commit any serious or repeated violation of the lease, commit fraud, bribery, or any other corrupt or criminal act in connection with the program. The family, including each family member, must not engage in drug-related criminal activity or violent criminal activity or other criminal activity that threatens the health, safety, or right to peaceful enjoyment of other residents and persons residing in the immediate vicinity of the premises. Sublease or let the unit or assign the lease or transfer the unit. Owner responsibilities. The owner or landlord must screen families who apply to determine suitability as renters, comply with fair housing laws, maintain the housing unit by making necessary repairs timely, comply with the terms of the Housing Assistance Payment HAP contract between owner and the PHA. Owner responsibilities. The owner or landlord must provide copies of all notices served to the family, including any judgments or summary of eviction. Owner responsibilities. The owner or landlord must not violate the Fair Housing Act or other federal equal opportunity requirements, cannot be a parent, child, grandparent, grandchild, sister, or brother of any family member, violate obligations under a housing assistance payment HAP contract, cannot engage in drug-related criminal activity or any violent criminal activity, commit fraud, bribery, or any other corrupt act in connection with the federal housing program. Owner responsibilities. The owner or landlord must not rent units that fail to meet housing codes, cannot sign a side payment agreement with Housing Choice Voucher participating families. Housing Voucher Extension. A Housing Choice Voucher will be issued for a total of 60 days. All extension requests are subject to approval and based upon available funding. Please complete your extension request to our office in writing with the completed housing search form before the expiration date. An example of the housing search form will be on the next slide. Please review the housing search form located on the slide. You will be able to locate the actual form within the paperwork received from our office. If you are in need of asking for an extension on your voucher, please complete this form and return it with your extension request. This slide shows the example of how the affordability for the unit is performed. We are providing you a blank section so that you can utilize or determine or even try to use the estimate for a property that you may be interested in renting. Although, when the documents are returned to our office, we still will perform the affordability test. Utility allowance examples will be shown on the next slide. The utility chart shown is used for an apartment to help in determining the utility allowance for the unit selected. The utility chart shown is used for a single-family home in determining the utility allowance for the unit selected. After affordability has been determined for the unit selected and the family can afford the rent, a copy of the estimate letter shown in slide as an example will be mailed to the family and a copy to the new landlord. The estimate letter will inform the family of what their portion of the rent will be and what portion Raleigh Housing Authority will assist. Upon receiving the rent adjustment letter, all paperwork has been finalized, and should the family have any changes or updates to report, you will now begin completing the change of status forms with supporting documentation attached within 30 days of the change. You must report all income changes within 30 calendar days of the start or restart date. You must provide copies of your 3 paycheck stubs for a new job with this agency form. You can also have your employer complete an employment verification form before receiving 3 pay stubs, which you will attach to the agency provided form. The change of status form is located on our website or available for pickup within our lobby. The addition and removal of persons to and from a household must be reported within 30 calendar days. Failure to report changes in your household could result in termination of housing assistance. When adding individuals under the age of 18 to your household, submit with this form a copy of the certified birth certificate, Social Security card, a citizenship form, legal documentation from the courts or North Carolina legal system showing legal guardianship, if not your child, and proof of any income received for this person. Example, child support, Social Security, AFDC or Work First, etc. Requirement to receive a Housing Choice Section 8 voucher. The following documents are required prior to being issued a Housing Choice Section 8 voucher: birth certificate for all family members, Social Security card for all family members, picture ID, family members 18 years of age or older, income information, Declaration 214 citizenship form, household composition packet. Things to remember. All extension requests are subject to approval. Extension requests will need to be submitted in writing 7 days prior to the expiration date of your voucher. Extension requests must include housing search sheets and are subject to approval. Leasing packets will not be accepted by fax from landlords or the applicant. The head of household may not be vacant from the unit for 30 consecutive calendar days, and the family cannot have overnight guests for more than 14 days per year, including weekends. Once you are officially on the program, you must report any changes in your income or family composition within 30 days by completing the change of status forms. Let's discuss the asset form. You will complete this form within the household composition packet in just a few moments. Income asset page. Section A. You will complete this section if you do not have an open account or any other assets. Only check one section as it applies to your household. Income asset page. Section B. Check this section if you have an open account or other assets and the total is less than $5,000. Only check one section as it applies to your household. You will be asked to please provide copies of your last 3 bank statements, all pages. Income asset page, section C. Check this section if you have an open account or other assets and the total is more than $5,000. You will be also asked to please provide copies of your last 3 bank statements or supporting document for other accounts. Asset income. Once you have selected the correct section on the form, please sign, print your name and date. Each family member 18 years of age or older must complete the form. Head of household, you will sign and print your name for each family member. On this slide, you will see an example view of the Housing Choice Voucher. The voucher that will be issued to you will indicate the bedroom size in which you qualify for, the issue date, and the expiration date. How to request for an extension. Submit your request in writing to our office 1 week before your expiration date on your Housing Choice Voucher with the completed housing search attached. Requesting for an extension on voucher. Housing search form. Located within your documents, you will have the housing search form shown on the left side. The housing search form will need to be provided with your written request for an extension 7 days before your voucher expires. Please start completing the housing search form to show the places where you have been searching or call to check for housing availability. Once your request has been received, staff will review requests and contact the family when the extension will be ready for pickup. New voucher steps and considerations. We are providing this information for you so that you will be aware of the steps and stages in which your paperwork will be going through. This will begin once you have returned the completed request for tenancy approval leasing packet. It has a blue cover sheet. Request for tenancy approval, page 1. When completed with the new selected unit, return this packet to get things started before the expiration date given on the voucher. Request for tenancy approval, page 2. Very important. Landlord and or property manager will sign, print, and date on the left side. The applicant, you will also need to please sign, print, and date your name on the right side. The address provided on this form will be the address in which our office will mail a copy of the estimate letter once approved for the rent. References within Wake County. The information provided gives contact information for local agencies. North Carolina housing agencies. Located within the briefing packet are the housing authorities information within North Carolina. Should you wish to locate outside of North Carolina, utilizing portability, The information can be located on hudclips.com. North Carolina agencies, page 2. A continuation of the North Carolina housing authorities located within North Carolina. We have reached the end. I'd like to say thank you for participating today. Please sign and date the presentation review attached to the household composition paperwork. Then return documents to our office located at 900 Haynes Street, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27604.